WTF happened to Zoe? Where did she go? I'm almost certain that they just dismissed the character of Zoe because they simply didn't value her character, which in my opinion is super lame and a reinforcement of the disposable black love interest trope. And it's not cool.
Let's take over the whole world. That's what we're made for.
Hey everyone, it's Bianca Melrose, and today I will be talking about one of my all-time favorite shows, This Is Us. Even though I loved the show and never missed an episode, there were a few things about the show that I just didn't like. These are my unpopular This Is Us opinions. So my first unpopular opinion is WTF happened to Zoe? Where did she go? Beth's cousin Zoe added a fresh dynamic to the Pearson family, and I was deeply invested in her backstory of having a hard time in her youth. I wish we would have gotten more flashbacks to her youth, especially about the time period where she had to move in with Beth and her family. I also wish the show would have given her childhood abuse storyline more screen time, as it was an important topic that I don't think was explored enough on the show. Like, how can they bring up an issue like that and not really dive deeper into it? The family dynamic between Zoe, Beth, and the rest of the Pearson family had so much untapped potential. Zoe also had a romantic relationship with Kevin that, of course, ended before it even got started. The relationship felt like a reinforcement of the disposable black love interest trope, which is commonly seen in television and movies. This trope involves introducing a black character as a love interest only to have them exit the storyline without much development or closure, undermining the importance of black characters in narrative arcs, especially romantic ones. You can find examples of the disposable black love interest trope in This Is Us between Kevin and Zoe, of course, but also in shows like The Vampire Diaries, Friends, Gossip Girl, You, Riverdale, That 70s Show, and the list goes on and on.
We can spot the disposable black love interest character almost instantly. They're the fleeting guest star, presented as great in theory, yet we know the main character is not actually going to end up with them. The disposable black love interest functions as an obstacle along the way to the protagonist's real white love.
You need to get that.
I'll call her back later.
Fundamentally, the trope is a form of tokenism, an attempt to check the boxes of diversity without actually casting people of color in the main roles audiences are encouraged to identify with and care about. Because the disposable black love interest is a stepping stone love interest, a pit stop along the way to true love, the very story structure persuades the audience to root against this character, even to resent or loathe them, thus potentially feeding on or even worsening existing real-world racism and anti-blackness. And although many stories have white disposable love interests too, when the disposable love interest is a rare person of color amongst a mostly white cast, the fact that they're inevitably not chosen can create the problematic impression that this person is less desirable due to their race, reaffirming our already very white-centric beauty standards and received ideas about who is worthy of love.
I'm not sure why they got rid of Zoe's character, but even if, for whatever reason, the actress that played Zoe could no longer do the role, then why didn't they just replace her with another black actress that looked similar to her? They do this all the time in film and TV. If they could make Mandy Moore's character into an elderly woman every episode, they could have gotten another actress to play Zoe. But the actress no longer being able to portray Zoe would be a best case scenario. I'm almost certain that they just dismissed the character of Zoe because they simply didn't value her character, which in my opinion is super lame and a reinforcement of the disposable black love interest trope. And it's not cool. My second unpopular opinion is that Kate was annoying AF. I don't know if this one is necessarily an unpopular opinion, since a lot of viewers did kind of feel the same way. But Kate was so annoying. I couldn't stand when she was the focus of an episode. A huge part of her storyline was her lifelong struggles with her weight. I actually felt like the show did a good job of portraying her journey with that, but I hated how she took her insecurities out on Rebecca so much. It was unfair of her to do that. I wish that Kate's character would have had more significant growth. I felt like Kate's journey was often overshadowed by her constant need for validation and her inability to get past her childhood issues. Now, I do think that Kate's character did have some great episodes that were memorable, but overall, I think that her character could have been so much better. My third unpopular opinion is that it was unrealistic how perfect Jack was. Jack Pearson is a great character. He was a great husband and a great father that was adored by audiences. And I think that that was in large part due to the actor that portrayed him. He's just a really lovable actor. I mean, even the way that Jack died, he died a hero, you know. He ran back into the house to save the family dog during the house fire. Well, he didn't die during the fire, but he died from the smoke that he took in later on after being a hero and saving the family dog. But sometimes it felt like he was a little too perfect. The show really dropped the ball with the lack of exploration into his character flaws. In the beginning, Jack's backstory of his struggles with alcoholism seemed like it was going to be deeply explored in the series. Many people even theorized that his alcoholism was going to be the cause of his death, but it never really goes there. We don't really get to see the impact that his alcoholism had on his family on a deeper level. It was all too surface level. Jack felt too perfect in a world where perfect people don't exist. It was frustrating because real people have flaws, and that's okay. And those flaws are what make television shows interesting. While Jack's alcoholism is discussed throughout the show, it's often not done in an in-depth way, and it often feels glossed over. Had the show explored Jack's alcoholism more, it would have added more depth to an otherwise perfect character. My fourth unpopular opinion is about the rivalry between Randall and Kevin. So the animosity between Randall and Kevin is a significant plotline in the series, but their issues with each other oftentimes felt underdeveloped. We know that in their childhood and even in their adult life, Randall was seen as the golden child, especially in the eyes of their parents. It seemed that the mom especially favored Randall because he was the easy one to raise. Kevin was jealous of this and acted out because of it, even as an adult. I think that their rivalry was too often hinted at and discussed every now and then whenever they would have a big fight. However, I wish that their issues would have been explored deeper. It's very realistic that siblings don't always get along or even like each other, and it would have been an interesting plotline if it was known that they simply didn't get along due to hurt feelings from their childhood. I thought that it was especially hurtful for Randall when Kevin brought up that he was the only person who could carry on the family name due to Randall being adopted. I don't think Randall would have let that go so easily. I think the show played it off too often as the siblings being the big three, and that no matter what, they would always be close. But there should have been longer story arcs both in the past and present of Randall and Kevin not getting along. I think that it would have made their final reconciliation more compelling. My fifth unpopular opinion about This Is Us is that Mandy Moore should have been able to sing more on the show because she's an incredible singer. This might be super biased, but I love Mandy Moore. She's the reason that I even started watching This Is Us in the first place. Mandy Moore has, of course, been a famous singer since the 90s. She has an incredible voice and has made some of my favorite songs ever. So I wonder why the show didn't utilize her singing skills more. The show let her shine every now and then, but I wish that the singing had been more incorporated into Rebecca's character somehow. We know that when Rebecca was young, she dreamed of being a famous singer, but just because she didn't make it as a famous singer doesn't mean she couldn't have still done something with singing. Especially after her son, aka Kevin, got super famous from acting on The Manny. Rebecca not giving up on singing could have also provided more beautiful musical moments in the show that didn't involve Kate. And my final unpopular This Is Us opinion is that Miguel and Rebecca getting together, ending up together, getting married, It was just trifling. It was deceitful. It was shady. That is not something that Jack would have been happy about at all. And they can claim that, oh, they just wanted to be happy together. No, 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 no. Like, how could they do that? Miguel was Jack's best friend. He was Jack's best man at his wedding to Rebecca. I believe that there was attraction there from the moment they met back when Jack was alive. I hated their relationship. So, This Is Us will always be one of my all-time favorite shows, and it will always be known for its groundbreaking emotional storytelling. However, like any other show, it had its flaws and missed opportunities. Do you agree with my unpopular opinions about This Is Us? What are your unpopular opinions about the series? Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel.